Welcome back to Sports Mecca. I am Jacob Barter with Jake Herod. It is March Madness time right now.
Sir.
We are down to the final 4 teams remaining, and what a great tournament it's been so far.
It's been crazy. A lot of upsets. This past weekend there were some upsets as well.
Not as many first round upsets as usually are, but the later rounds have definitely made
Yeah,
up for it.
definitely. I mean, last year there was definitely Michigan State falling in the first round. There's other games like that, but this year the higher seeds kind of proved that they deserved those for the first 2 rounds, and then it's just open field.
All seeds from 1 through 4 won, and for the first time in a while. I mean, it's been a great tournament. Down to 4 teams left. Let's see some highlights. See what's been happening.
Big upset this weekend as Kansas fell to Oregon. I mean, Kansas, and that was my champion, and this was a lot of people's champion. I mean, what went wrong? I mean, here you see Frank Mason driving in. He had 21 points in his final game as a Jayhawk. What do you have to say about this performance?
I mean, I'm not even sure it was that bad on Kansas's part as much as it was great on Oregon. And I think Oregon's a team that a lot of people started sleeping on. Here we see the nice punch from Jordan Bell. Oregon, a lot of people slept on him as soon as Chris Boucher went out for the season with an injury. His torn ACL, awful for his draft stock, and of course awful for the Ducks as well. But I mean, this is an Oregon team that without Boucher still almost beat Arizona in the Pac-12 championship. And obviously have great NBA quality players. This right here, Tyler Dorsey, drilling the buzzer beater
NBA
off
range.
glass. Yeah, NBA range. Guys like Dylan Brooks, who's made plays all tournament. This is just a great Oregon team. Dana Altman's done a fantastic job, and Jordan Bell had a true coming out party.
Yeah, Oregon definitely deserves all the credit in the world, but one thing you got to point out, Kansas shot 35% from the field this game, and that's really uncharacteristic of this team and how they've been this whole season. I mean, their first 2 wins in the tournament, they averaged a margin of like 30 points, I think, 32 maybe.
First 3 games, they averaged 90 points a game and 30-point margin. That's crazy.
That's absurd. That's literally absurd, and they only scored 60 points. I mean, it's
Great
just
performance by
they
Oregon's
came out
defense.
cold, and I mean, Oregon took the lead with 16 minutes in the first half and just did not let up. They just they just pedaled to the metal, put the foot down, and just kept going. And I mean, it worked. I mean, obviously.
The Oregon team is proving people wrong. Plenty of people, including myself, had them losing early after the Boucher injury, and they've just been great all tournament.
Yeah. Another game we need to get into is South Carolina, Florida. SEC East showing out
Some
big
SEC
in the Elite
basketball in the Elite Eight.
Yes, sir. I like it. I mean, 3 teams making it. South Carolina came over, pulled out with the win over Florida this game, 77-70. They were led by SEC Player of the Year, Sindarius Thornwell, as he had 26 points and 7 rebounds.
And what a great tournament for Sindarius Thornwell. He has truly played himself in. People not even sure if he's going to be drafted before tournament. He's played himself into the first round. Bunch of 20-point games. He's just been dominating the floor for South Carolina.
Yeah, he has. I mean, this SEC basketball has really just proven to improve, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know when the last time 3 SEC teams were in the Elite Eight, if ever.
Yeah, this is a great year for the SEC. Great year for Florida, too. I mean, they did lose, but we'd be remiss to not talk about them after that great victory against Wisconsin.
Oh, that buzzer beater.
Blowing out Virginia before that. A very strong Virginia team. Got to give a shout out. Chris Chioza from White Station High School, repping the station with the buzzer beater against Wisconsin. And he had a breakout tournament. Showed he was the fastest player in the court at every time. Yeah. Great tournament for Florida. And you can't be upset with an Elite Eight performance.
No, not at all.
But South Carolina, I mean, I am shocked that anyone picked them to be in the championship, in the Final Four.
I want to touch on this. Only 657 out of the 18 million ESPN brackets predicted the Final Four right. That's like .003, something like that.
That's wild that any of them got it.
I don't see how anybody predicts that. I want to give South Carolina some credit. I mean, nobody predicted they would be here right now. I mean,
popular upset pick in the first round to Marquette.
Yeah. I didn't see it. I had them making it in one of my brackets. I had them making it to this game against Florida, but I had them losing. I didn't have them continuing to go on. I didn't have them continuing to fight. But they've proved that they deserve to be here. I think all 4 of these teams proved they deserve to be here.
South Carolina's defense especially has been impressive this tournament. They really have shown that they can lock a team down. We saw the end of that Florida game. Some peak SEC basketball at work with 2 offenses kind of sputtering and 2 defenses shutting each other down. Yeah. And the difference was free throws. Free throws always come down in March Madness. South Carolina at one point in the fourth quarter hit 11 of 12. That's what won them the game. That's what won Frank Martin's team the game. Yeah. Martin's done a great job. And
fantastic.
South Carolina, they fully deserve this Final Four.
I agree with you. keeping it with the Carolinas going, tough loss for Kentucky fans and Kentucky
What a
team
great
this weekend.
game.
But like you said, what a great game. I could not have asked for a better game to watch.
This was from wire to wire. Both teams just stuck with each other. Neither team got more than like an 8-point lead for the entire game. I mean, the end of the game was it was wild. Malik Monk, 2 crazy threes at the end.
Yeah. And I don't know, that's a lot of poise and composure. I don't know how you nailed 2 clutch threes like that with people in your face. I mean, a hand right in your face.
Monk showing why he's going to be a top 10 pick. Same for De'Aaron Fox, who, let's talk about the Sweet 16 a little bit, because it's been, last show was obviously before the Sweet 16. De'Aaron Fox versus UCLA, 39
points.
Held Lonzo to only 10, just a dominating performance from Fox. Crazy stat to me was against North Carolina, Fox hit his first 3 of the tournament.
Wow.
He's showing that without this 3-point game, that if he can develop a 3-point game, De'Aaron Fox can truly be one of the best players in the NBA. I firmly believe he has John Wall type potential.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It just depends on if he can get this jump shot. Will he be Elfrid Payton? Will he be John Wall?
Yeah, there were a lot of comparisons to John Wall. And that UCLA game, I mean, first of all, Lonzo Ball only having 10 points. That's speaking numbers, outstanding numbers on Kentucky's defense. I mean, they were all up in their grill. I mean, Alfred couldn't get anything. He had 0 points in the first half. They just shut them down completely with that defense. And, yeah, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is definitely going to be, in my opinion, if he goes to the draft, I think he's going to wind up playing himself in the lottery.
Oh, for sure. I think the Magic should be looking at him at that 5th pick if the lottery order holds true, which I'm sure it won't because it's the NBA lottery. Another player who had such a great tournament, Justin Jackson for UNC, and I'm so thankful we get to keep watching him play through these next 2 games, hopefully, because he has played himself into a lottery pick. He's a junior, and he's just showing off that even though college basketball seems to be dominated by freshmen, guys like Frank Mason, senior, guys like Justin Jackson, you need one of them in March, and they can take you all the way.
Yeah, and he had a great game as well with 19 points and 5 rebounds. Luke May, though, I just want to touch on this a little bit. Luke May hit the game-winning shot. There's like 0.3 seconds left when the ball went through the hoop. It's tough. That's very tough for Kentucky fans because they were coming off a little bit of 25-year anniversary of when they lost to Leitner on that last-second shot to Duke. We'll touch on that a little bit more in a second.
Some little Elite Eight symmetry here. Final Four tips off this weekend.
Yes, sir.
Who do you got? North Carolina, Gonzaga, or South Carolina, Gonzaga?
This one's tough. I mean, Gonzaga's proved that they've been the real deal this whole season. They've only lost 1 game, 2 games?
One game.
BYU. Yeah, great season so far. South Carolina, I mean, they've been surprising every single team they've faced this tournament, especially. But I'm going to have to go with Gonzaga. I mean, I just think they're rolling right now, and they're just in a groove, and I think they're going to get themselves in the title matchup. How about you?
I got to agree with that. I honestly think as soon as Gonzaga saw the end of that Florida-South Carolina game, they started licking their chops. They did not want to play Florida. West Virginia has that, of course, Gonzaga beat them with that crazy press. And Gonzaga honestly dodged a bit of a bullet with guys like Chiozza and Justin Leon flying around the perimeter for or Kayvon Allen too, flying around the perimeter for Florida. That would have been a tough matchup for Gonzaga's guards. Instead, they get South Carolina, whose defense has been great all tournament, but South Carolina is a small team. Yeah. A lot of times they'll be running Thornwell, who's going to 6'5" Sindarius Thornwell at the power forward spot, and guys like Zach Collins, guys like Karnowski for Gonzaga. I think they're gonna tear them apart, honestly.
Okay. North Carolina, Oregon. I'm gonna take the experience of North Carolina. They were there last year. I think they lost on a heartbreak shot.
Right.
I think they're going to, get themselves in that tournament matchup. I mean, what are you thinking?
This one's tough for me. I can go ahead and argue Oregon here because Oregon has just shown doubters all tournament how good they are. Even, I keep going back to Boucher's injury, but everyone viewed that as a turning point for the Oregon season. They're going to start losing from here. They're going to lose the first couple rounds. And guys like Dylan Brooks, Tyler Dorsey are playing. They're just showing they're some of the best players in college basketball right now. And, I mean, this Oregon team looks great. Dana Altman's done a fantastic job as coach for this program. And I think they can get back to that second championship, since 1939.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. I just, I don't know. So if there was a favorite to win the title, who would you have to go with?
I think you got to go with Gonzaga. Gonzaga's,
Okay.
I mean, they showed during the regular season, wire to wire, they were the best team in college basketball. And they have gotten a little bit lucky with some of these draws in the tournament, playing a lot of low seeds. Of course, they played Xavier in the Elite Eight, 11 seed. And they're going to get another low seed in the Final Four first game. And then I think they're going to be too much for North Carolina/Oregon in the final.
Okay. Yeah, that's a very good point. I'm going to have to go with North Carolina. You know, they were there last year. Roy Williams always reloads his team and always puts them in, you know, best position possible. I think their fast break is really going to play a factor in this. And hopefully, you know, these names, you know, Justin Jackson, Kennedy Meeks, and Luke May, he had 17 off the bench in that Elite
Former
Eight.
walk-on.
Former walk-on. I didn't know that, actually. I'm going to have to go with North Carolina. I just think the experience is there and the coaching and everything is there.
North Carolina, the only team of these four with some Final Four experience.
Wow.
So that could come into hand. That could come into play.
All right. Jacob, we still got some more basketball to talk about. Got a little bit of football to talk about, NFL draft stuff, some Vols in the combine. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.